Nico, well done today. You're having such a good breakthrough season, showed your versatility again tonight. Your first Premier League brace. You can't beat scoring goals, can you?
Yeah, no, I'm over the moon tonight. I mean, the win was the most important thing. Try to close the gap and apply as much pressure as possible. And yeah, also very happy with the 2 goals.
On closing the gap, on that pressure, I'm sure as a young player here, you were looking at this team win titles. You're now a very big part of your own title race. How are you finding that experience?
Yeah, it's a dream of mine to win something like this. I mean, there's still a lot of games to go, and we just need to take each game as it comes. And yeah, I'm enjoying every moment and taking it all in.
You'll have seen this time of year when Manchester City get going, it normally ends with success. You're now 8 unbeaten. There must be real belief that you can go all the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always believe we can win games. Yeah, we had a week break, so we were able to prepare for this game very well. So yeah, we just need to keep going.
Well done, you're today's player of the match. Enjoy that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, he was speaking to Liam McDevitt there, was Nico O'Reilly. What an occasion for him. 2 goals in a very big game and a player of the match performance. What a time. He was really, really talking about how much he's enjoying his football right now.
Yes, he's in excellent form. He plays every game. Pep relies on him. And he's played in a number of positions. I think that's why we appreciate what a really good player he is. He had a wonderful evening tonight. Quiet second half, but he's the match winner, and that's all that counts. It was back to the walls a little bit in the second half, a bit more of a battle, but City got there in the end.
Yeah, looking at that table, they are hot on Arsenal's heels, breathing down their necks with the small matter of the North London derby to come tomorrow. Manchester City are in prime position to strike.
Yeah, and you know that the Arsenal players have been watching today, as were the City players would have been, and managerial team would have been watching Arsenal in midweek. And now it's back over to Arsenal. Man City have said, we've done our job. See what you can do tomorrow in the North London derby. And that's the way it's going to be in between now and the end of the season. It is between those two. But both teams are not going to win every single game. There are going to be points dropped. And there will be still twists and turns.
And they still meet each other at the Etihad Stadium in April. Looking forward to that one already. Tonight, though, job done for Manchester City. They knew it was a big opportunity and they came out as if they meant real business. O'Reilly with the early opener out.
Yeah, they win the first header. They win the second header there, Haaland. They win the third challenge as well. Yeah, you look at Newcastle defensively, but the way Man City broke on them and the way he hits that Nico O'Reilly. From a City point of view, it's a very, very good goal and well worked. But from a Newcastle point of view, you would think Howe can get a little bit closer to him. And I also think that Nick Pope perhaps would look at that and think he could do better. I'm not sure his positioning's that great. He doesn't move his feet quick enough either. And when you get that much of a hand to it, I think as a goalkeeper, you'd think you'd probably do more to stop that. Having said that, it's a great strike and a very good goal from Man City.
What did you make of it?
I agree with Alan. There's small nuances, small mistakes on the. If Thiaw followed Nico O'Reilly first, Marmoush wasn't a danger. He was picked up. He played a nice ball to Nico O'Reilly. If Malik Thiaw was a little tiny bit closer, they could have stopped it at source. But, you know, you're talking moments in games, and that's what happens at the highest quality. If you switch off slightly, if Nick Pope's feet are planted and he's moving left instead of right, it's in the back of the net, and Manchester City got off to the perfect start.
Yeah, the lead didn't last too long, though, because Newcastle found themselves level. Lewis Hall, on what was a 100th club appearance for him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he positions himself really well. That's not a fluke. That's where he has to be, just in case the ball actually comes out to where it does, and he's there perfectly. Yes, it's fortunate that it takes a deflection from Nori, but he's there. He gets his strike away. So from everything, that's well worked. Having said that, as I said, it's the deflection that takes it past Donnarumma, and they get themselves back in the game. And that would be the disappointing thing, is that when they do get themselves back in the game, and then they defend really poorly for the second goal, I think.
Yeah, I was the same. Newcastle were excellent. Even in the first half, they were really dangerous. So once they got back into the game, they just needed to stay in the game a little bit longer, be a bit more secure and counter-attack, because that's where they were really dangerous against Manchester City. But the second goal was incredibly frustrating again if you're a Newcastle analyst who watches the game, because it's easy to analyse and see where the mistakes were happening.
Well, why don't you do that for us and tell us what was frustrating about it?
Well, easily enough. Look at the shape of Newcastle, perfect. But Semenyo flips past Voltemar, who's not a midfielder. And then the gap between Malik Thiaw and Kieran Trippier is too vast. Trippier should be in 3 or 4 yards in towards Malik Thiaw. The danger is in front of him, not behind. And then he gets caught on his heels. You see Trippier's movements now, the very small steps. And Nico O'Reilly's in the gap. It's floated in the air. And as Alan had assessed, that is a wonderful ball for someone who's going to go and attack and be aggressive. And a lovely header back across Nick Pope.
It's a brilliant ball in from Haaland. It's just, it's so inviting for Nico O'Reilly to go and run and attack it, and he times it to perfection and then guides it back across where it's come from. Brilliant from his point of view. But from Newcastle, it's just far too easy to go past Nick Voltemada to begin with. And then far too easy with that ball in from Kieran Trippier. He's miles away from Nico O'Reilly. He should be a lot closer, as Maka has said. And if he is, then O'Reilly doesn't get that header.
Yeah, look at Bernardo Silva just giving Haaland props there. So often on the end of balls like that, turned
But
provider.
when you looked at when Haaland goes to cross it in, you see the camera behind him. All you can see is Newcastle defenders. So it's just them getting caught. It's just being flat-footed. One person moving, which is Nico O'Reilly, and Kieran Trippier just a little tiny bit lost. And again, small margins, and they're just punished for it.
Yeah, the first half was, some might say, absorbing. Captivating. We'd expected plenty more goals because the first half was an all-action affair.
Yeah, I thought there would have been more goals in the second half. I thought it would be very similar to the first half, where it was really open. City created chances. Newcastle definitely created chances with the way they played, with the way Gordon was up front and Alanga was using his pace on that right-hand side. And that's the way I thought it would have happened again in the second half, but it wasn't to be. City defended well. They didn't give Newcastle the space to run into like they did in that second half, which then meant they weren't that much of a threat themselves, Manchester City. But as we've said, it wasn't about a performance for them tonight. It was about getting 3 points by hook or by crook and then putting the pressure right back onto Arsenal.
Completing their great record against Newcastle. That continued tonight. 17 wins in a row at the Etihad against the Magpies. Let's hear post-match reaction from their manager. Here's Eddie Howe.
Eddie, I know you're never happy after a defeat, but you can still be proud of your players, can't you?
Yeah, considering everything that we've put into the last few weeks, that was a big effort, physically, mentally. That was a good performance. Wasn't good enough. And yeah, Manchester City make it very difficult for you, but I thought we went toe-to-toe with them. I thought we were going strong at the end, and can't fault the players.
And was that the plan from the start?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think we had our way of setting up today, and we wanted to play our normal way. We wanted to try and really test ourselves and show our strengths, and I thought we did. I thought we were equals in the game. We were well in it. We attacked well without probably having the cutting edge that we needed to create the level of chances that maybe our territory warranted. Didn't defend the 2 goals well enough at all. That's the big disappointment from the game, really.
It's been 2 weeks where we seem to have seen the belief in your squad really come to the fore.
Yeah, I think whenever you come here, you're really tested in that way. You have to be really strong mentally. You have to believe you're good enough to win. I felt that belief was there right to the end. I mean, Harvey's had the shot and Donnarumma's made an incredible save. And when you consider the physical exertions that we've had in the last few weeks, that's a big testament to the group.
And you said this week that, OK, results over the years have never gone well here, but every time you play City, you learn something from it. What do you think you'll take from today?
Well, the 2 goals that we conceded were disappointing because we felt we've made individual errors that's cost us those goals. And I think you never quite know how the game would pan out, but I think, and it's important we start better here. I think that we conceded early. Several occasions, it's made our task even harder than it needed to be.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Guy.
Eddie Howe's post-match reaction, pretty similar to what you said.
I think he was listening to us, I think. Jules.
Must have been, because he said lacked cutting edge made some defensive mistakes. Is that how you sum it up?
That's been the frustrating thing. I think when you consider what Newcastle have been through, the 3 away games before this evening, the travel they had to make on Wednesday evening to get back and then come back into this game, I thought they played really well, but it was the small margins that made the difference. And the small margins were that they didn't perhaps put as much pressure on them in the second half, and particularly with the 2 goals they conceded defensively. That's what's been the difference tonight, and that's how they've been punished.
I also think they're missing a number 9 at the moment. I know Anthony Gordon can play a number 9, and he scored goals midweek. I understand that. But Voltemada was brought in as a number 9. He's not playing as a number 9, and that's an issue. This is injured constantly. as a number 9, and that's an issue. And he brings a Sula on. So they had lots of possession. But the fact that they didn't have cutting edges, Eddie Howe mentioned, is because Voltemade and Visser are not working as a number 9. So it's something they're going to have to address. Yes, they'll score goals. They've got pace. Gordon, Barnes, Alanga's slightly disappointing, but is starting to find his feet. They will score goals. But in games like this, when you're playing against the very best, you need a number 9.
Yeah, you're in agreement?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think clearly Voltemade is an issue for Newcastle because of the money they spent on him, near enough 70 million. And them deciding then to play Gordon as a centre forward tells you he hasn't quite been what they thought he could be in that position. So they're trying to work out what's best for him. Is he a 10? Probably not. They're trying then play him in more of a midfield role. Well, you see that he can't press because he hasn't got the legs, he hasn't got the energy to do what Eddie Howe's teams have done, which has made Newcastle successful over the years. You saw that with that second goal, is when he goes to press, he was beaten far too easily. So he is an issue for Newcastle.
And are they trying to, as you were mentioning, and Eddie Howe talked in the beginning about the fluidity up front and trying some different things, simply because they did spend so much money on that forward line?
Yeah, because, look, it was always going to be a very difficult situation because of the Isak situation, because of what he did and what happened. And it hasn't worked well for anyone. It hasn't worked well for Isak. It certainly hasn't worked well for Liverpool with him. And from my point of view and from Newcastle's point of view, it certainly didn't help them because they were forced into paying, I think, far too much money for 2 forwards in Voltemade. It was a lot of money for him and a lot of money for Visser, roughly around 125 million on those 2. And they're still working out or figuring out how to get the best from Voltemade because his game, his stature, his pace of play is not suited to what Newcastle have done in being successful under Eddie Howe with the energy. Because when Newcastle were at their very best, Newcastle were going after teams and pressing and not giving them any energy, not any time to play whatsoever. Yet he can't do that. And that tells you that he's playing a winger in the centre forward position, that he has an issue in there.
He's playing he played as a, today, because the way Manchester City play and dominate at times, he played as Tonali's partner. Well, that's not his role. That's not a 10. That's an 8 or a 6 in number terms nowadays. That's a centre midfielder. He's not mobile enough. Shake of the shoulders, and he can't keep up with the players like Semenya shows for the second goal. So if Bruno does come back, where are you going to put him? That's why Al said it's a problem, because you put him as a 9 and then drop Gordon or put him wide, and then you've got a problem with Harvey Barnes or Alanga. So it's an issue at the moment that is fine because there's a few injuries, but once everybody comes back, try and nail down that number 9 position, which is an issue. And it's, Newcastle always have good number 9s. I'm not just talking about this great centre forward next to me. In the past and in the future, they need a number 9. They need a focal point, and it's something that needs sorting out.
Could have made the difference tonight. Eddie Howe saying they went toe-to-toe with Manchester City, and yet City held on for the 3 points. They saw the game out. That's game management. That's the difference, isn't it? They know how to do that.
Yeah, and City went to their bench and put on Foden and Cherky and Kusanov when they wanted pace. Their bench was really good, experienced, full of internationals, no problem City. When Newcastle went to the bench, it was a little tiny bit weaker, so you could see them seeing them out and just almost trying to hit Newcastle on the counter-attack themselves. Saying that, I thought Newcastle held out really well. I thought Dan Burn and Marc were brilliant, I really do. But they've just, they're just going back up north, losing yet again. But they did all they can, but like they are in this game, City have got a bigger squad. The circumstances of midweek, they equipped themselves really, really well, Newcastle, but just fell short. It was fine. They didn't get a beating today. They didn't get hammered. They acquitted themselves really, really well, but it was just one of those things, really, at the end of the game.
Yeah, and their goal at the Etihad was the first they'd scored there in 7. Newcastle and City are going to be sick of the sight of each other by the end of the season. Plenty more games to come.
Yeah, well, they've got the FA Cup as well, and both teams will be hoping that they might have a chance of playing each other in the quarter-finals of the Champions League as well, if they manage to get through. But I think Newcastle have been really competitive against Manchester City tonight. They made it really difficult for them. albeit it was a really good night in the end for Manchester City, and that's all that mattered for them.
Yeah, well, we can hear now from Manchester City, their points of view, because we're going to go back to the Etihad, and standing by to speak to us is Marc Guéhi. Marc, great to be chatting to you. Thank you so much for your time. A huge opportunity tonight, a huge result for City. Just give us your take on it and your thoughts on the performance.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, it was a tough game. We know how difficult it is to play against Newcastle and their qualities, their endeavour, their work rate, and also their quality on the ball. So, I think everyone's glad that we got these 3 points, and we can move on to the next game.
How tense was it in the second half? Because we talked about your game management and seeing this result out.
Yeah, we knew second half was always going to be a bit of a sticky one. Second half's always difficult. I think when their tails are up and they're pushing for another goal. So I think credit to everyone for keeping their heads and managing the game in different moments.
Marc, hi, it's Alan Shearer. Well done tonight on your performance. Tell us the truth. Are you, as players, in terms of the title race, are you watching Arsenal in midweek and them dropping points and then thinking it's your chance tonight to put pressure on them before they play tomorrow?
Hi, Alan. To be honest, I think everyone's got their own way of, either switching off or watching the game. I personally haven't watched any of their games, to be honest. We're definitely aware of scores as a team going into games. But yeah, I think the most important for us is to focus on ourselves, because we can only control what we can control.
Marc, it's Steve McManaman. Congratulations, mate, tonight. Why didn't you join Liverpool? No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. How's your adaptation being into the team? How are you finding all your teammates and playing with your new club?
Hi, Steve. Honestly, I was dreading that question, to be honest.
Don't worry. I'm only messing.
But yeah, it's been a great experience so far. Everyone's been super welcoming. I've said in the previous interview that I've had to adapt a lot to the way the manager wants to play and almost change my game completely. His ideas are fantastic, and the thought process behind why he wants to do certain things are really helping me develop as a player. And I just want to learn and be obsessed as much as possible and try and get better. And I couldn't be at a much better place to do this than Manchester City with all these fantastic players. So yeah, very grateful.
Yeah, some of them have been, Marc, in this situation before. It's the first time for you, though. What's it like being involved in this title race? Give us the scoop. What's it like behind the scenes? What's Pep been like? What has he been saying to all of you?
I'll be honest, it's very relaxed from day to day. Obviously, when it's time to train, we train full. We train with the mindset of trying to win every single game and just being focused on our own performances and how we can get better, especially coming towards the end of the season, how we can be fresher, how we can get better and improve our performances. Because, like you've seen today, every minor detail is so important. But yeah, it's been very relaxed from day to day. But when it's go time, it's go time.
A brace for Nico O'Reilly tonight, the first in the Premier League for him. How pleased are you?
Oh, he's been fantastic. I'm so glad he's doing so well. He's a big player for us, so important for us both on and off the ball. I think you guys are seeing his qualities, his goal scoring ability as well that he has, and I'm sure he's going to add a lot more now. So yeah, hopefully he can carry that on, and hopefully the team can as well.
Thanks so much for your time, Marc. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, best of luck, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Julia.
Post-match reactions from Manchester City. Here is Pep Guardiola.
Pep, it was a high-intensity game, which I knew you were expecting. It looked like it meant a lot there for you at the end. We saw Haaland defending deep to get your team over the line. A big result today.
Massive. It's an incredible team. Newcastle is an incredible, but awesome team. Physicality and the speed that they have in front with Gordon Elanga and after Barnes and all of them. So physicality in the middle. So yeah, really tough, but the team was unbelievable.
You're now 8 unbeaten. You seem to have an ability to get your team winning when it matters most. What's that down to?
No, it's not true. We won today. We draw against the Spurs not far away, so step at a time.
You're as familiar as anyone about this part of the season, the talk that will come. It's now 2 points to Arsenal. They need to come here. Do you feel as equipped as ever with the group that you've got to face that battle and go into a good title race?
70% of the players never play in that situation, and I don't play. So we have to leave it, and we know that every game until the end of the season will be like this. And especially at home, with the 5 games left at home, today we had the best crowd of the year. It was unbelievable, our people. And I'm really, really proud to be manager of these incredible people, fans, and so on. And we'll be, now is rest 3 days that we need it, and proper leads.
Pep Guardiola already looking forward to what's to come, and their next challenge is Leeds. They can rest a few days. Arsenal still have to face Tottenham. That comes tomorrow. It's a huge one for them. Mac, and then Chelsea to come as well. Just looking at those fixtures to come in the title race, who has it tougher? Are they all tough?
Well, if you look at those particular games that we can see, when you look at Manchester City, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, the FA Cup, West Ham, and then Arsenal, you'd certainly, and you've got, of course, you'd certainly think it was Manchester. And there's a couple of FA Cup and League games in there, as EFL Cup game as well. You'd certainly think when you look at those games, Tottenham and Chelsea for Arsenal are more difficult than the 4th that Manchester City would have. But of course, there's 11 games left, and as Al said, they're going to drop points. Both of them will drop points because they're not as dominating as they once were in the past, Manchester City. And either at Arsenal, the competition's closer, so it won't just be when they meet at the Etihad in April, they'll drop more points than that, the pair of them.
Well, there is big pressure certainly on Arsenal tomorrow because City have done the job. They play their bitter rivals, and, you know, it could still be 2 points come the end of tomorrow. Yeah, it's we're going to be seeing this so much in between now and the end of the season. Well, City have done their job, or Arsenal have done their job. It's now over to Manchester City. I've been in this position myself. I know it's more difficult for Arsenal because they have to win it, and because of they were there. So yeah, pressure on them tomorrow.
It's going to be Arsenal's all the way, and it'll be finished in maybe April, and you know. But this is right, and this is the first time I've looked at Manchester City now and looked at them and looked at the spine of the team: Donnarumma, Marc Guéhi, Haaland, Rodri, Semenyo. No, but they look like men. Do you know what I mean? They look like they're right up for and this place was lively tonight. You can't see them dropping too many points. So Arsenal are going to have to be brilliant from now to the end of the season.
And Haaland not on the score sheet this evening. Both the goals from Nico O'Reilly. Just how well did he do, Joleon? Because both the goals probably avoidable from a Newcastle point of view.
Yeah, from slightly avoidable, but you got to give credit to Nico O'Reilly, especially his willingness to run in behind. And I've spoken about him before. He's so important to the team now. Because we have ball players and people that are comfortable, but this is a difference. His ability to run behind the forward line, and again, we could critique Newcastle's defending if we want, but take nothing away from the way to pass, the confidence to take the shot on. Again, could he pass to the world's best striker? But no, he sees the opportunity to strike and he converts.
Yeah, it's a wonderful finish. He just cuts across. I thought maybe he'd let the ball come across from his standing leg a little bit too much, but he just cut across it and took it away from Pope. And in this one, he's finding in that little pockets. You know, this is somebody who could be left back for England, realistically, at the World Cup. He's playing like in the number 10 position there. He's found it. It's a beautifully timed run, and he gets up early. The great ball from Haaland where he stands it up exactly where you want it, and he's coming in great momentum, and he's up early. And look at the strength.
But you, like many, Joe, won't recognise that is his natural position.
Yeah.
He's only ever played as a 10 in the academy, so these things and these scenarios aren't unfamiliar for him.
How much do you think he's enjoying this run that he's getting now in that preferred position, and how much are you enjoying watching him? Yeah, both equally impressive. I think as a young player, you want to play and you will say, yes, I want to play in it and I'll play anywhere. But when you're given the opportunity to, in such an incredible team, a vital stage of the season, you're given an opportunity to play in your best position because the manager trusts you to influence the game the way he's done. That can only give him so much confidence. And like Joe said, he could go to the World Cup, and I believe if he goes to the World Cup, he'll only really be considered as a left back. But to play a pivotal role in what this club are about to do this season could be immense. Because he got his first couple of caps in November. What do you think his chances are? Do you think they're high because of that versatility he brings?
Versatility is crucial, especially at a tournament, and the left back position is wide open. Nobody's. We're talking off air, like nobody's grabbed it yet, so he could play there. And then if he does play, I agree. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the 10 position or an 8 because we're really stacked there. But he'll certainly be on the plane And if he keeps performing like, and a lot can change. There's 12, I think there's 11 games.
Is he becoming one of Pep's undroppables?
I think he is, yeah. Again, it's easy to recognise that because he scored 2 goals today. But I think in previous games, he's shown his athleticism. And when the team has lacked legs transitionally, whether it's forward or going back, he showed that he can recover. And he's obviously showed tonight that he can run in behind.
Do you know what? Sorry, Joleon. Do you know what I think he does as well? He wasn't spectacular tonight in terms of like going past people, but he's so efficient and very smart. He's obviously been well coached by everyone coming through at this club. He can play multiple positions, and that was very impressive of him tonight.
Not got a bad coach here, has he? Let's talk about Erling Haaland then, because not on the score sheet, Joleon, but 42 touches, which is the most that he's ever had in a Premier League game. What was good about his performance tonight?
That fact that I think he did, I think he had the most touches. He looked like he enjoyed it, and he didn't have a real chance on goal. He had one at the end, but he didn't show any frustration towards that. He worked for the team, and Glenn spoke about him before the game, how versatile his game is and how complete his game is, and he showed that without showing the thing that he's recognised for the most, which is scoring goals. His ability to run in behind, create moments, and again, like this, similar to the first half, he showed great composure and soft feet, Joe.
Yeah, he is. It's a lovely the clips here are the complete package from a number 9 in terms of you see him there running the channel. This is defensively. That is an elite centre-half in a crucial pick, distance, bang. Again, look, listen, he could be forgiven in that situation going, I'm running up the pitch now, you lads deal with it. No, he's chasing Anthony Gordon into the channel, so he's a team player.
Similar to Drogba, who you will know more than most, the ability to want to take up that responsibility, but then these are the bits that we shouldn't be surprised on, and yes, he definitely plays to his maximum, so I can understand why he's lying down at the end.
Is his mentality the best we've seen in the game, do you think, Joleon? He seems to thrive in that battle.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely up there, and all the greats have it. I think it's too early and easy to say it's the best because there are other greats that have a similar mentality, and that's probably the common denominator between great players is their mentality, their willingness to do the right things every day, and he spoke about it before.
And we can see Marc Guéhi joining us now.
Hello,
Good to see you, Marc. Thank you very much for coming out to join us in the rain. And well done on the win tonight. Marc, a massive win in the title race, isn't it? To get 2 points behind Arsenal in what was a really tough battle out there. Just talk us through what stood out for you in that overall City performance tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys would know, from their experience themselves. These games are always difficult, always tough games to play in. Newcastle are such a difficult team to play against, and their intensity and their endeavour and also their quality on the ball. So, I think it was a really good win today. I think I wouldn't say a statement win, but one that puts us in a really good position moving forward.
Marc, can I ask you quickly, because me and Joleon both said it. It looks like you've been here for decades, not weeks, mate. And you've settled in so well. What sort of things has Pep done to you? Because usually with Pep, when he signs players, he beds them in because of the system. But you've hit the ground running. And what's Pep done and what the lads done to help you with that?
First and foremost, Joleon will know what a top club this place is. And from the first minute I've come, everyone's been so welcoming, and the players, the staff. But yeah, the manager's been great. I think I've had to adapt completely, change my game completely, and I'm still learning a lot each and every day. And it's difficult because there's so many ideas. It's more thought process as opposed to physical. Thinking a lot, finding the right pass, when to pass the ball, driving at players, committing players. So there's so many different aspects of the game that I'm learning on the job, and don't have really much time to embed myself. But it's been great because I've had a lot of help, so it's been fantastic.
It must be a player's dream to work with someone like Pep Guardiola. What would you say is the one thing that surprised you about him? Anything that you weren't expecting when you came in?
Nothing really comes to mind, to be honest. I mean, how you see him on the television is how he is in real life. He's enthusiastic, he's passionate, he's intense, and he's a winner. He wants to win every single game, but he wants to win his way. He wants to play a certain way and impose himself on the opposition. So there's nothing really that I've been surprised by. I'm just glad I get the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, tonight we've seen obviously your attributes and your qualities as a centre-back. How important was Erling tonight defensively?
I mean, the manager gave him a little speech inside, to be honest, and how amazing he was today. You know, his work ethic is amazing. Fighting for every single ball against Dan. It's not easy. Dan's so strong, so good in the air. You know, he's a real focal point for us at the top of the field, and you know, I'm glad he's done so well for us today.
Not a bad centre-back as well tonight. Do you think he's got a future there?
I think he should stay up front for sure. You know, I don't want him to take my place or anything, but yeah, he's amazing.
I think you're safe, Marc.
Yeah, thank you.
Marc, we've got to let you go. We'll let you get in the dry, but thanks very much for coming out to join us.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Well done
mate.
tonight. Cheers. Thank you. Well done, Marc Guéhi there. A big part, but as you said, Joe, he looks like he's been here for ages.
He is. Listen, he's one of football's nice guys, but when he plays, he's on it. That was really interesting and really brilliant to hear him say about how much he's learning. You know, I looked at him at 25 years of age. He's played loads of games in his career, and you could be forgiven to having a. We all listen, certainly me as well, but you get to a certain stage and you think you know it all. He's coming to this club. He's opened his mind. He wants to learn, and I knew he was a top player. But I thought everyone's gonna take time under this system. Everyone does. No, he's arguably, you could say, I want to embarrass him, but he's as good as anything they've got in that position at the club. Do you know what I mean? And he wouldn't say that because he's a humble guy, but watching him, like, he could be the difference in a title race. So everyone's going to talk about Semenyo and the goals that he's brought, and he's had a big influence. But having him there, I don't know what you think, Joleon, but I think maybe without him in the team, that result might have been different. Say they didn't got that. So credit to Pep's people who do the deals, whoever does that, and bringing him in. He is perfect for this club.
It's an incredible team. Newcastle is an incredible, but awesome team. Physicality and the speed that they have in front with Gordon Elanga and after Barnes and all of them. So physicality in the middle. So yeah, really tough, but the team was unbelievable.
You're now 8 unbeaten. You seem to have an ability to get your team winning when it matters most. What's that down to?
No, it's not true. We won today. We draw against the Spurs not far away, so step at a time.
You're as familiar as anyone about this part of the season, the talk that will come. It's now 2 points to Arsenal. They need to come here. Do you feel as equipped as ever with the group that you've got to face that battle and go into a good title race?
70% of the players never play in that situation, and I don't play. So we have to live it, and we know that every game until the end of the season will be like this. And especially at home, with the 5 games left at home, today we had the best crowd of the year. It was unbelievable, our people. And I'm really, really proud to be manager of these incredible people, fans, and so on. We'll be now is rest 3 days that we need it and proper leads.
So 70% of the players haven't been involved in this experience. Are you having to work in a different way as manager to create success and get a team performing how you like?
Game plan, the mentality, what you have to do. So if you don't outplay this type of... Today the modern football is like that. So it's a man marking so aggressive, the pace they have, and all of them, and they have injuries. So it's a really tough opponent. So in Champions League, 0-5 in the halftime. So 3 days ago, the physicality, the pace, the rhythm that defies always since Saudi Arabia took over the club and Eddie Howe was there, the way the play is unbelievable, so difficult. So that's why I'm really pleased for the way we behave today.
It felt big for City tonight. Pep Guardiola very complimentary about Newcastle this evening as well. The interviews keep coming here as well because we can now get the post-match thoughts from the Newcastle boss. Eddie Howe is with Liam.
Eddie, how do you reflect on that game? It was intense. It was a hard battle.
We were right in the game. I thought we gave everything that we had to give to the match. I think we needed to. Disappointing with the 2 goals really that we conceded because they're out of context really with the general performance, which was really strong defensively. But we switched us a couple of times and they punish you when you do that. I thought we chased the game well second half. We were always in it right to the very end with Harvey's chance going agonisingly close for us.
Are you able to take positives from the way you did play and the intensity, given you said it wasn't going to be an excuse, but given the week you've had, the travel you've had, and you've matched a team there?
Yeah, credit to the players for delivering that. I think it was incredibly difficult to do with the travel, as you say, the games that we've had, and a relatively small squad to pick from. We've chosen the players that we felt were able to execute what we wanted them to do, and credit to the group. I thought they did. We went deep and hard. We're chasing the game against a very, very good team, and any mistake, we have a transition, we've got to recover and sprint back in, and I thought we did that to a man excellently all through the game.
So do you want your team to be fluid, to find solutions to Manchester City, especially in wide areas? You got into some great positions. Was that something that you really wanted to utilise today?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that we were looking at today in possession, and I thought they came out. I think just the end product, the last cross, the last finish, wasn't quite to the level with the territory that we had. I think we should have been delivering more. But again, I think you've got to credit the opposition as well to a degree for that. But there's several occasions where I thought we could have done better. But we kept going and we kept believing, and I think that's a massive thing here. We haven't always been in the game in late stages when visiting this stadium, but today I thought we were more than deserving of that opportunity to equalise.
Yes, still lots of positives for Newcastle to take from the performance tonight, but for Manchester City, it's all about that 2-point gap now between them and the Gunners. And Pep Guardiola talking about the experience in his side, but Joleon saying that 70% of the players don't know what it's like to get over the line, but still more than Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant it to be an indirect message towards Arsenal. The fact that he referenced 70% don't know, but there's a very high percentage at Arsenal that don't know. So if he sees that as relevance, then that's one plus for the group here. They have more experience of being in this scenario and seeing games out and seeing seasons out. So hopefully they can build on tonight, because it wasn't just as a glamorous performance. It was an important performance.
And we keep hearing this season that Arsenal have got the best squad in the league, Joe. But if you looked at the City starting 11 tonight, but also the bench this evening, they're not that bad themselves, are they?
Yeah, the bench was frightening. It really was. There's so much quality. Arsenal, listen, Mikel Arteta needs to be lauded for what he's put together at Arsenal, but ultimately a club like Arsenal will be judged on trophies and silverware. The players know that, the fans know that, Mikel Arteta knows that, you know, and it's going to be a brilliant, brilliant run-in, and something I'm really, really excited about, because we didn't have one last year, you know, but this year it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.